I'm James. I'm a senior at Hunter right now.
I'm Amber. I just graduated class of 2018, so I currently go to Brooklyn College in the BAMD program.
I'm Nina. I graduated from Hunter a very long time ago, and more recently graduated from the George Washington University.
Yay! Round of applause. What was your degree in? So we want to give you guys some stress management tips before the upcoming Hunter College High School exam. So can you share with me, James, if you could lead the show, tell us what are some good stress management tips?
So some good tips. First off, I think when I took the test, like 5 years ago now, I took the advice of Kweller and I took the day off of school the day before. And I know Amber did the same because I watched her video. I think that was very helpful because it's very useful to like be able to relax yourself before, because there's not a lot of like studying that you can do now. Like what's really important is making sure you're in the right mindset to actually take the test and make sure that your nerves are all settled. So like what I'm going to be talking about are like some tips in order to to that end. So first off, I think it's important to like print your admission ticket early, right? Like the day before, get everything ready.
Did everyone print admission tickets yet? Make sure we're going to do it tonight, okay?
Definitely early, because it's definitely good to like have that secure in your mind.
And you don't have to bring an ID, okay? You just bring your ticket. It's fine.
And make sure your pencils are all sharpened. Bring everything that you want so you will have it the morning of, so you're not scrambling then. Also, like I was just saying, but also just to reiterate, it's important that you don't like study new material the day before or like leading up to it, because that can like stress you out more because you're kind of like stunned by the new information. But what's really important is that you can like passively skim some of the stuff that you already learned, and that can be very helpful. Also, just be prepared because it's a lot of people that are going to be taking the test. It's definitely a very long line. I remember waiting outside for a long time. So just make sure that's in your mind so that doesn't surprise you the morning of. But
how many people do you think were on? Did you take it at the college or at the high school?
I took it at the high school. I don't know. It was a lot of people.
Hundreds
probably.
I took it about at least like 1,000 or 2,000 people, and it went all around the block. So as I said earlier, make sure you dress in layers, because you'll be cold outside, but once you get in the room, it might be hot, so you would want to take those layers off.
Yeah,
Nina, do you remember years ago how many people were in the room?
I do actually. So I took my test at the high school, and I remember there were hundreds of people in line before I also dressed in layers. But for me, the most important thing was to stay very calm right before the test. So I remember I had like my iPod in and I was listening to music. I actually remember the song I was listening to, so I won't mention it now. And it's just like very calming, very soothing. And then
Did you stay home the day before the test?
I actually did it. My parents wouldn't let me. They made me go to school. So.
You stayed home.
Yes, I stayed home.
You stayed home.
I stayed home.
2 out of 3 stayed home.
I recommend staying home and not worrying about homework that day or anything. I caught up on all my homework over the weekend. My parents didn't want me to stress out about having schoolwork and having to learn material at school and doing the homework the night before the test. They wanted me to relax and sleep early and get a good night's sleep. So I recommend you guys do the same.
And then what are some more of the tips that you can recommend?
Some more tips? Yeah, definitely, as Amber was just saying, like it's very important to get a good night's sleep. Like my 9th grade math teacher used to say that you want to get 100 on your sleep grade, and your sleep grade is like the hours that you sleep like plus a 0. It's like 8 hours is an 80. So you want 10 hours. You want 100 on your sleep grade. So that's something to keep in mind, because that's very important. You need to be able to like think on the test. Like if you definitely shouldn't stay up all night studying anything, because that's only going to subtract from your ability to think like when you're faced with new information. Definitely arrive at the test center early so you can like soothe yourself.
It starts 7:30. Do you remember when you arrived?
I don't remember exactly, but definitely early.
I think I got really early.
7. Okay.
That's good. And while you're waiting on the line, I recommend bringing you can bring like a Kweller packet, or you can bring anything just to like keep yourself occupied, because it can be like kind of like intense to just stand there and like.
Did you take any
nothing.
flashcards with you? Any notes with you?
I think I did take some flashcards, like some vocab words or something, just something to like keep your mind running.
I took a sheet of like some math formulas that I was just trying to memorize.
We gave him the formulas today.
But I didn't bring a lot of stuff because I didn't want to fill my brain with new information at the last minute and then stress myself out if I didn't remember something. studying. So I brought stuff that was like a light workload and things that I had already studied before that I knew I'd memorized, but just there so I wouldn't get distracted and I wouldn't focus on other students online.
Yeah, if you have like the study guide that we gave out, you should definitely bring that with you and just keep looking over that before the exam.
Because you'll be online for like a good hour, right?
Yeah, at least 30 minutes, yeah. And don't look at other students because other kids could be nervous. Other kids might be reacting in ways that could make you nervous. So avoid looking at other students and just focus on yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely like an individual experience, so you don't want to be bogged down by anything else that happens.
Let's keep.
Okay, yeah, another tip, to make sure that you eat breakfast the morning of, because that's very important to be able to think as well. You need to be able to like get your brain juices flowing. You can also, like, something that can be helpful is to pack like a Lucky Charm, you know, just something that like gives you a little, that extra burst of confidence, like, because there are going to be times during the test where you're like faced with something that you don't know what to do, but it can be helpful to like have something to like bring you that like security and, you know, kind of relax yourself for a second. Also, I mean, for parents, it can be helpful for them to like write a letter, you know, just for them to relax you because they know a little bit more about dealing with these kind of like emotions and stressors. So, and it's also important to keep in mind that like no matter what happens as a result of this test, like you're going to be fine. All right. There are plenty of people that I know that didn't get into Hunter and they're doing great at Stuyvesant or they're doing great at Regis. And I know plenty of people at Hunter that aren't enjoying Hunter, but I mean, I am. So, you know, whatever happens, like, just be okay with that and know that you, like, tried your best on the test.
As long as you put your best foot forward, there's nothing to ever regret.
You guys know you put 100% coming here, working hard, and just focus on the test and you guys will do really well.
Yeah, also important is to like try to like tie up any like loose ends that might be in your mind. So like before the test, you can like talk to your parents and try to find and like decide on a place where you're going to meet afterwards. So that's not something that's stressing you out because you want to be able to like devote 100% of your energy to the test in front of you.
Yeah, because as you're exiting, like a lot of different kids are going to
Call their parents, or if not, if you don't have your own phone, try to borrow a phone from someone else. But that's nothing to worry about. You'll be safe in the building, so don't focus on that. Just focus on your test.
Yeah, if you ever feel lost or something, I'm sure there are tons of security guards.
They made you
talk-
stand in line in the auditorium.
Yeah, so we were waiting on
And you like
stage.
picked your kid.
So we were waiting on stage, and they were like, "That's our parent." And anyways, maybe this procedure now is better. Hopefully it is. But yeah.
Yeah, and it might be better like depending on like the place that you're going to. Like they didn't really have that at the testing high school center, I remember, but it'll vary. It's also important to make sure that you bring a watch so you can like, because you can't count on like the clock working in the room, or like the proctors are going to write the times on the board, but you might want like more precise like information than they're going to do. So definitely bring a watch and try to make sure that it doesn't make any noises, like so the proctor doesn't get mad and you don't like distract other people. And you can like set it to 12 o'clock so it'll like move to 3, or you can like set a time or a countdown or something like that, because you want to be able to, like, you don't want to have to think too much about how much time that you have. You don't want to have to do that little subtraction to like trip yourself up for a second, you know.
I also suggest don't bring a smartwatch because you have the risk of the proctor taking that away, and also it could make noise. So just bring like a normal old-fashioned watch. Like this watch is fine. Watch that like has little hands that move around. Yeah.
It's perfect. Also important to remember is that while you will be able to like go to the bathroom during the test if you want, like that is like subtracting from your test time. So definitely before the test begins, you should go to the bathroom, like even if you don't really have to go, just to make sure that, you know, nothing's going to be distracting you. And like, I don't know if this would be a problem with you guys, but I know I would tell myself not to drink coffee before, because you don't want to like have to go to the bathroom and like trip yourself up. But it's all, if you have to go to the bathroom, like go, it's not the end of the world. Like you can make up the time later.
Take like a little water bottle so that you don't like chug the whole big bottle. Like literally take a little one with me. I did that during the LSAT, which was a mistake. But I took a big bottle and I was nervous and I drank the whole thing. Just don't do that. Take a